That's me. I'm Håkan Ericsson, the CEO of Accessy. And this is a quite natural idea. Why shouldn't we use a mobile phone to unlock doors? And you can do it two ways. One is to keep the old structure, or you do it in a new way. And see it as a huge idea of actually releasing new innovation and providing an infrastructure of access control. And that's what Access is about. So if you take a look at the building's needs, it's like the Maslow's pyramid. Sometimes you see the internet is actually in the bottom. But I would argue that, of course, we need climate. So if the climate is wrong inside the building, we have a problem. But then it comes internet. And internet is the biggest service development initiative that we've seen. So if we treat access the same way, we will release a lot of innovation and we will solve a huge problem between different buildings and property owners. The thing about internet, it's standards. You have IEEE, we have 3GPP behind 5G. We have the web with 3C. So it's a standardized framework that everyone can work with. But if you look at access control systems, all of them are silos. So they are really locked down. So we're locking down our buildings, we're not opening them up. So every building is locked down with their own proprietary systems. So what if the door knew who you were? You just came to the door and it opened up. And it's actually the idea of the service that grants you access. Then we solve the huge problem. All the deliveries that happens, all the spaces that are unused need to be unlocked. So the idea is actually not just to bring the mobile phone as an add-on to existing access control systems, where you need to install something new. It's to build an infrastructure so we can share spaces between us and solve a bigger task. By doing so, we're actually solving the problem with key management. There are so many costs related to key management. It's like sites from Ericsson that want to visit the site. You need to pass 3 different doors and you have a problem. There are deliveries to the company, to different locations. There are spaces that are unused. There are cars driving around today in Stockholm just looking for keys because there's no key to enter the spaces where they want to have access to. Huge cost and a very negative impact on the environment. So if we provide an infrastructure and connects everything that we have today, we will solve the problem. So what we do, if you want to solve this by just installing new hardware on every lock, it will cost a fortune. If you instead do it like we've done before, we rip music and become digital music. Let's do the same thing with locks and connect them. And the only thing you put is a tile that takes this lock is part of this service now. It's like the new Visa logo. And it will be a digital twin in the service. On the other side, we provide really secure identities connected to your mobile phone number that everybody has. And we grant access from mobile phone numbers to the locks that are connected to the service. Problem solved. So that's the idea that we were behind the Accessy. We built it, it works fine, it's rolled out now in Sweden. And we are backed up by some really strong real estate owners too. So, but to do so, first of all, you need to have a really secure solution. So in the bottom, you need to have a security by default. But the other thing, we need to connect. We have to have connectivity. We have to have network coverage in the spaces where we are going to unlock the doors. And it's much easier to provide a good, reliable network than changing all locks. So it's the 5G and building a robust network is what's needed if we are going to use existing locks. Otherwise, we need to replace all locks. It's much better to invest in coverage and internet than in replacing old locks with new ones. The other thing, if you think about it, if you look at security in a building, network security and physical access is really much related to each other. We need to know who is entering the building, and that person needs to have access, a secure access to network too. So physical access and internet really goes hand in hand. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's really bad. It's really bad. Have you heard anything? No, this is better. So as I said, this initiative is backed up, and a lot of you are here actually by some major real estate company. We have a fast design service too, so it's an initiative that has been backed up by real estate company. You can visit up there. You will see how fast we are by unlocking existing doors or installing new ones that are more cost efficient than if you want to invest in an old existing locking system or access control system. So what we do in the end, we open up spaces to start with, buildings, in the end, whole societies. So if we can move freely between buildings, between spaces, we really solve the big task, and it will release innovation, I can tell you. So you don't need to wait. Unlock the future today and visit you up there on the booth. Thank you.